Hi guys. Well, I'm just going to run through quickly, not this particular part. I'm going to start at the meat and potatoes end, which is the weapon. Okay, so the 5G arsenal. Like I said, I do talks about an hour, hour and a half. Anybody wants me to come and do a talk in a local area, as long as your numbers are large enough, it's worth me doing it. If they're not large enough, we can do them by Zoom. Okay. So here we'll have part of the 5G weapons arsenal. Here we'll have London, where they've increased the optical radiation footprint from these risk group 2. These are blue phosphor coded. The phosphor wears off over time, so increase the intensity of the light emission in the blue 450 nanometers range. You've had all the regulatory bodies, AMA, ANSI, SHEAR, Public Health Thing, HSC, all concerned and saying there's a risk. You've got them killing all the moths, which is an environmental crime. Maximum exposure to is 0.25. The government say they're perfectly safe because you can't look at them because they're so harmful. That just shows how mentally deranged these government lying scientists actually are. What I call, they're not scientists, academics. The academics, a scientist, the definition of a scientist is someone that knows a subject really well. An academic can be as thick as two short planks. They're the ones that wave their bits of paper about, all right, and tell you how clever they are when it's absolutely nonsense. Like I said, scientists, and we should never ever refer these characters to scientists because they don't know the subject. They're pretty dim. That's why they get employed by the government. They're normally as thick as two short planks. Now, the fact is, because of these regulatory bodies who've all warned against the dangers of these LEDs, this would be the Administrative and Noxious Substance Offences Against the Persons Act. Now, we've just had a recent court case where the Crown has decided not to go forward, not in the public interest, where some people installing this lighting were threatened with a firearm, a very serious offence, and the government have decided that it's not in the public interest to go to trial because, unfortunately, we can prove absolutely that this is part weapon system. It was designed without the diffuser. And then, like I said, the phosphor wears off over time to become more toxic. Category 2. But let's have a look at the really dangerous part. What you never ever want in any type of optical radiation emitter, and that's why high pressure sodium lamps had ballasts, right, to remove, right, the alternating current. So we had AC coming in, because what you definitely don't want is this pulsing. Okay, Gated Council denied that their lights pulsed. They just lied, like they all do. They're just absolute born, paid for deceivers. Okay, so here we have what's really going on. Optical radiation, it's a recognized health hazard. Point light source, you don't want lights shining in your eyes. And what we'll see is all the new automotive vehicles where they're starting to emit very dangerous, very risky amounts of optical radiation. You must wear protective eyewear. They're looking at fining people now for wearing protective eyewear. That's a bit strange, isn't it? So they want to stop people wearing protective eyewear, while they want to blast this assault causing headaches, nausea, central nervous system cancers, and not only that, flicker. Okay, so here's the front of a cop van. It's not a bonny painted one, is it? No. This is the one proud to harm, proud to attack. That's basically, now, LED weapons, pulse modulated frequencies can be weaponized, and that's why light weapons have been used for a long time. Everybody knows the dangers posed from optical radiation, and that just shows the lethality. You can imagine that Kelvin temperature, right, entering your eye from a beam from these vehicles. I mean, it's horrific, and they want to try and now fine you if you wear protective eyewear to protect yourself. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy. So here we'll have the C40 City geofence. This is the weaponry that they're deploying. Now, this is a LiDAR multi-photon ionizing radiation emitter. So you see these beams, right? If you get enough energy in that beam, you can cause ionization. We all accept that. Ionizing radiation is really toxic. The interesting thing about this, it operates in non-visible spectrum, so you can't see it. They cause seizures. A lot of people, about 3% of the population, are photosensitive. So people will be having crashes. They'll not even know why, because they can't see this because it operates a non-visible spectrum. Okay. Now, what was quite interesting, I've actually just had a reply from Transport for London to tell me how this is a lower power, safe camera, not LiDAR. It's just a camera, it's just a vision system. Don't worry about it. Nothing about the radar, etc. Now, they've told me there's 3,700 units. I believe there's more. That's if the Blade Runners... well, there's not 3,700 of work, let's just put it like that. So anyway, we're looking for anybody taking one of these down, by the way, get in touch. We have a defence in law. This is a battlefield weapon system, okay? Transport for London, right, tell me this is an IEC EN 62471. That applies to LED light, okay? But on inspection, these are not LEDs. They're laser diodes, right? And they should be covered under IEC TR 60825. Once again, what you absolutely do not want with this type of radiation, this facial recognition type technology, is pulse modulation. So let's just have a look at it and see what this one does. There you go. Lethal. It's a weapon system. Okay, this is to cause bodily harm. They're designed to cause bodily harm. And that's what I call soft kill, by the way. That's not the real kill. Okay. Here we have... now, Transport for London have told me they've done anything about this fusion technology. This is the company that they've employed to deploy the weapons on top of the people. It used to be a company called Siemens. Here's Siemens radar, camera, LiDAR. That's what you call fusion tech. That's exactly what Transport for London have deployed, right? Problem why it's not Siemens is because they're a DoD aerospace and defense company, okay? So we have a Battlefield C40 City kill box. We know that this type of technology is an IURC Group 1. This was a military study on defence personnel who unfortunately developed cancers from exposure to exactly the same type of radiation emissions. Now, coppers, this was just from a vision microwave radiation handheld gun. They all ended up getting cancer, so they had to stop them using it. But it's okay for the people of London in this large experiment, as it states here. Oh, it's getting a bit slow. As it states here, TfL, Transport for London's Living Lab. So it tells you here you're in a living laboratory, right? I sent them an FOI, right? And what they've done, they've come back and they've said to me in this FOI that they don't use radar. It is a lie. It's a blatant lie. They're audio able as well. Here is part of the equipment. It's actually got a radar gun weapons sight. It actually states it here. There's the weapons sight to aim at the unsuspecting victims as they travel into these kill boxes. Okay, now this is multi-fusion technology. It's nothing at all in any of the literature that says it's safe, because radar's dangerous, LiDAR's dangerous. You put them together and all of a sudden you've got an absolutely toxic mix. Now, obviously, operating in a forward operating base, protective eyewear, like I said, you can see I've got me Stop the Genocide t-shirt on just to make sure people know, you know, the more people that see this, and it is quite surprising, a large number of people are starting to get to the facts of what's really going on. Let's just have a look inside. Let's try and explain to people some of the technicalities. It's hard for people to get a head around this. But here we have what I would suggest is a normal, if let's say you just wanted to scan your local area, it wouldn't be safe. The radiation emissions off them is not good, right? But it's not catastrophic. Okay, so this got 150 meters range, right? It can check biometrics, heart rhythms, etc. It's quite a sophisticated piece of kit. Okay, this, however, is the thing that came out of the top of the TfL above your traffic lights. Okay, now this is an aluminium block, as you can see it, this aluminium block here, and on the front of the block you've got 100 antenna elements for the phased array radar gun. Okay, this can cause a focused interference pattern, and that's why I've got 100 of them, but so that you can cause major absolute harm. Now, the reason this got to remember, this is your resistor. It's a resistor PCB board, full resistance. No, nothing on this side. The reason for that is because this thing's going to get that hot. It's going to burn anything out on there. Okay, so you've actually got a resistor to protect it, but you've also got this aluminium block to protect the potential, the weapon. Okay, this is the hardware here. This is actually this side of this unit. So here we see, and what they don't want to do, they don't want to fry the weapon's capability, and that's why you've got this insulator as well as this air gap, and then you've got this aluminium block to make sure. Now, if you look at this one, even though this one can see 150 meters, there's no necessity to protect the chips and the electronics from this antenna, because it's not gonna, it'll be pretty pokey, pretty powerful, but not powerful as this. Nothing near. And that's why that tells me this is a full-on weapons system. Okay, now a lot of clowns will tell me, have done for quite a number of years, that radio frequency is not powerful enough to be a direct energy weapon. I mean, it's ridiculousness in all my life. This is from an intelligence, something that even tells you low level microwaves, right, can produce death, right, by heart seizures or by neurological pathologies, basically brain injury, TBI. A lot of guys who suffered PTSD on a battle space, unfortunately, were exposed to some of this technology, some of this battlefield interrogation technology. It's extremely dangerous. Side lobe leakage as well. And that's the reason why I've got that protector on me, because you get side lobe leakage. And what they don't want on the TFL weapon system is to burn out the electronics. Can you imagine? It can burn out electronics, but so they've got to protect it with an insulator, an air gap, and an aluminium block. But don't worry, TFL, it's perfectly safe. In fact, TFL don't even use radar. Amazing that, isn't it? That's what they've told me. In animal studies, yes, we can kill a couple of seconds of a beam wave at a target and you're dead. This is the mystery illness. This was from Havana syndrome, where people had irreparable neurological brain damage. And I can tell you now, probably equipment a little bit less pokey than the stuff that they've deployed across London for the future kill. I mean, obviously, they're not using it yet. TFL have said they're not using radar yet. No, but when they do, believe us, that's there to kill you. Okay, so here we have the most recognizable part of the weapon system. Everybody gets a look at this, right? And here we have, these are laser diodes on the front here. And like I said, TFL think that the LEDs, and they most certainly are not, right? And this is a conspiracy to murder. The reason I say that, this has 17.2 watts capacity, right, on this particular board. It's got a cooler vent to keep the whole thing nice and cooled. When they turn it up, it's got nice cooler vents up here as well. It's for facial recognition, target acquisition, and unfortunately, and how I'm going to change that, how I'm going to cause that toxicity in the body is due to the link with some of the things that people were injected with. Who's driving it? Well, the Azure operating platform. It's in the contract with Transport for London. So they're going to use the advanced military Microsoft Lockheed Martin drivers. It's the cloud-based Microsoft Azure to drive this particular weapon system, right? The Microsoft Azure is JADO, a Joint All-Domain Operations, and what they're using is they use electronic weapons, right? Basically commercial off-the-shelf technologies. Okay, so they've embedded their weaponization, and this is for the future strategic warfare plan. If you look at this document, the military document here, it basically says you're the target. You know, you don't have to wear a uniform. They have identified you, and where the new battlefield space is, it's your city, as we can see. Transport to London. Now, when I requested the environmental impact analysis, this is the integrated impact assessment. The EIA is in here. It's chapter 5. There's absolutely zero Now, Jacobs are a major defence contractor. Okay, so they know exactly what electronic weapons look like, smell like, and they've done an EIA, right, in this document, but they've missed, there's absolutely zero in it about the dangers posed to the environment, the general population from the radar, the LiDAR, right? What Transport for London say is just a ENPR vision system camera. It most certainly is not, right? They've lied to me, and something will be getting done about that. Now, I spoke before about how are they going to transfer power. How are they going to transfer power from your near infrared emission, right? They do it through what's called optogenetics, okay? So here you have biometric data harvesting, okay? This is some poor victim who took the booster. You can see the nanoparticulates. Those nanoparticulates are up converting, so UCNPs, and this allows me to see into your cardiovascular system, as you can see here. That's what near infrared radiation can do. I mean, obviously, the transmitter that TfL are using is a focused beam, phased array, and in that, cardio-optogenetics can actually stop your heart and cause a brain seizure. It's just full-on weaponry, right? I think we've went just about far enough, and we're going to do 2 more slides. I'm going to show you quickly. We tested a lot of people with magnets to show that they've been chipped up, as Matt Hancock says here on behalf of Bill Gates. It's exactly who it was. The in silico model, by the way, came out of a BSL-4 weapons lab. JADE, one of the microwave operating platforms, joint all-domain environment, that's what they're using. This chap will put a large magnet on and drew some of the contamination out of his body. That was quite interesting. He got a bit of a shock. Here we have an electrical charge being emitted from in and around the deltoid area, where the mass of the nanoparticulates are reflecting external radiation emissions, enough so to cause an electrical charge. And they're going to try and harvest that energy, as you can see. Now watch this graphite, ferrite type material. Watch it jump to the magnet here, watch. See that? So watch him again. He's going to dig it out again. I did it twice because a lot of people miss that. Just make sure you can see it, and then you'll see it jump across to the magnet, okay? And this is for the 5G direct energy surgical strike. Here's some of the ingredients. So cerium and gadolinium are the main actors when it comes to magnetism. Bill Gates has patented here, so he can generate cryptocurrency on the back of harvesting the energy as you move around. Okay, now you've already seen energy being emitted. They're going to try and harvest that. What they missed out was the pathogen, what they call SV40, but it's basically a fungus type pathogen in a lipid nanoparticle that can be activated using the 5G wireless body network. So if you're not running around for Bill Gates and enough energy for his cryptocurrency, well, I'm just gonna, so if you're a bit of a potato, you're a bit of a couch sloucher, or you're in bed, or you're not very well, you've went down with a flu that they've just given from the radiation, you just developed a massive bout of flu and radiation. Bill Gates is just going to switch it off, and he's got the equipment. They've got the equipment being deployed to do that. So what they've also got is this pathogen embedded. Now we know the nanoparticulates cause cancer. Okay, we also know that they sterilize the victim. Now they may not sterilize the originals, but that just depends if you've had the real thing or not. But like I said, my talks normally take a few hours. We'll do get to the bit where it gets all a little bit happier, because what I'm going to just tell people, look, don't be overly concerned, okay? And the reason I say that, right, I'm going to talk about this. This is one of the latest and greatest, the best that they've possibly got. They can't even get them to fly. So what makes you think that the rest of it's going to work? And I'll tell you now, it looks to me like it's all falling to bits. The globalists are backing off. The celebrities are getting rinsed. It's all happening, people, and it's all down to the work that you lot do in getting this information out. We're going to be having a run at Transport for London. I want all of this stuff removed. It's an illegal deployment. These are illegal weapon systems. They need to be removed. And if anybody removes them, takes it upon themselves to remove them, just remember, we've got a defence, and the Crown obviously don't want that in the court today. It's not the public interest for them to find, for people to find out that government's trying to exterminate. There are elements in the government who are planning your extermination when in cahoots with Bill Gates, World Economic Forum, WHO, etc.